In this video, you're going to be learning some of the biggest upsides and also downsides within the remote closing space. My name is Eldon, and I've closed several millions of dollars as a remote closer throughout my career in the last few years. And today I want to make this video for anyone that's kind of looking to get into this space and become a remote closer. Because yes, there are a lot of great benefits by living this lifestyle and obviously choosing this as a career path. But there are also some big negatives that I don't think are as discussed, especially from people kind of marketing this entire opportunity. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that in this video so that if you're considering this, you know what you're getting yourself into. So let's start off with the downsides. First off, one of the kind of biggest, downsides is kind of a given, but you don't really think about it until you actually are in the situation. If you're not on calls, you're not making any money. And the problem with that is if you get sick, you're not able to take calls, you're not making any money. So if you're sick for a few weeks, those are a few weeks where you're not generating cash, right? And so if you're especially from like a 9-to-5 lifestyle where, if you get sick, at least you have like your salary ticking in, going into a position now where suddenly, you're sick for 2 weeks, you're not able to take any calls. Again, as I mentioned, you're not generating any cash. And so that can become a little bit stressful if things pop up that just makes you unable to be on calls for a longer period of time. Also, one of the second downsides is this space is filled with opportunity, but it's also filled with a lot of bad opportunities. And so there's a ton of people out there and there are a ton of companies and organizations that you could potentially join that are filled with subpar offers and just, again, subpar opportunities where you're not going to be able to make money, and most likely you're just going to be ending up wasting a ton of time. Maybe their offer is not dialed in, maybe their marketing is really bad, maybe they lack like product market fit. And so what you really need to do when you're coming into the space is you need to front load your own research into the different offers that you're looking into before selecting which one you want to go for, right? Like you can jump on opportunities, you can ask a bunch of questions, but just make sure that you know that this is actually an opportunity that will let you get to where you want to go. Because there's going to be a lot of founders and a lot of sales managers that will tell you on target earnings, they'll tell you KPI earnings, but then nobody on the team in all actuality is hitting those numbers, right? And that's a huge red flag. So I guess one of the bad things, again, there's a ton of bad opportunities in the space. Make sure to do your due diligence on whatever offer you're considering before saying yes, because it'll save you a ton of time and a ton of money. I made this mistake myself, and I ended up going from 1 month closing $15,000 in commissions, switching an offer to what I thought was going to be a great offer, and I ended up making $300 the next month. It's insane how bad it can get. So again, do your due diligence, make sure that you're getting on the right opportunity. Number 3, this is not a field that's made for anyone who's just looking to show up and make money, right? This is a field that requires you to put in the work. You don't get the result, you don't get the cash. And it's that simple, which essentially means that especially when you're starting out, you're probably not going to be as good as you're going to be a year or two from now. So anytime you don't close a deal, you're not making any money. And to add on top of that, if you manage to land yourself a very, very lucrative opportunity, they are also the most sought after opportunities. And because of that, if you're not able to deliver, you're going to get cut from the team very, very quickly. A lot of these great opportunities, they have a hire faster mentality. And so you need to ensure that you deliver results or you're just going to lose out on a job very, very quickly. That, however, is also a pretty big upside of this space. So if we want to move into the upsides of high ticket closing, it is highly competitive. And so if you're a driven person, you want to be the best, you want to make a ton of money, this is definitely a space that I would get into if I was in your position and I was looking to make my first step into the online kind of money making space. Best opportunities, they pay great, have insanely good coaching, the people and the network that you're going to be able to establish by getting into one of these better opportunities, and obviously just the money that you're going to be able to make is really, really good. Again, so if you're highly competitive, if you're driven, honestly, especially as a beginner, I don't see any other space that would be a better entrance point than remote sales. On top of that, there's the obvious one, location freedom. Right? I mean, right now I'm in Buenos Aires in Argentina. I'm originally from Norway. I spent a year in Colombia. I've traveled and worked in Dubai, multiple places in Europe. It gives you that opportunity to just work from wherever you want, whenever you want, right? Like, I don't need to be in a store sitting behind a counter every Monday through Friday or a Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You know, I can be at home in my apartment like I am right now. I can be at a cafe. I could be on the beach for that matter. You know, I've closed deals in the back of a car before. So yeah, I mean, that is one of the great things about this. You do get that location freedom, but obviously to get to that point where you can consistently make money doing this, you are going to have to put in a lot of work so that your skill set is sufficient enough to help you get there. And then lastly, one of the great benefits of remote closing is it is very beginner friendly. Now, what do I mean by that? Obviously, to make $10, $15, $20,000 plus per month as a remote closer, it is going to take some time and it is going to take some effort. However, you're not starting an entire business from scratch. You know, a lot of these online opportunities, drop shipping, SMMA, you know, they really dive into, okay, you know, like you're gonna have to do marketing, you're gonna have to do sales, you're gonna have to do client management, you gotta have to learn all these different skill sets as a complete beginner. And the downside of that is obviously it's very hard. You know, like you're not really good at any of these things when you're first starting out, and then trying to get all of these different boxes to a sufficient level when you're just starting out is very, very difficult. While in remote closing, you get the leads delivered to you, you just show up on calls, and the only thing that you do is you help these people make a decision, and if the right decision for them is to move forward with whatever you and your company's offering, you get a commission off of that, right? And so that is the thing. You only wear the remote closer hat. You don't need to learn the lead generation. You don't need to learn the back-end client management and communication. The only skill set that you need to learn is you need to learn how to essentially persuade people to make the decisions that they know are the right for them, but they just have a hard time making that decision on their own, right? So hopefully you got some value out of this video today. Again, these were 3 downsides and then also obviously 3 upsides of remote closing in 2025. Again, if you got some value out of this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe down below. I'll see you guys sometime later next week for another video. Take care.